Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Hogan, and today I'm going to do a social studies on making choices when we're spending money on things that we want. So there are two vocabulary words that I'm going to teach you. The first one is the word spending. Spending is when we use some or all of our money to buy something we want right now. And the second word is saving. Saving is when we take some of our money and we save it to buy something in the future or later on. Many times that's something maybe that's more expensive or something really important or special. So we'll save for it. And we're also going to kind of talk about using money wisely and making great choices if we should be spending something that we want just right now, or if we should save some money and buy something in the future. We're going to read a story about a boy named Alexander. And Alexander did not make very wise choices when he was spending his money. So today we're going to read the story and you're going to follow along. And many of you have money that you have probably sitting right next to you like I do. And you're going to, along with me, do an activity where we're going to kind of spend that money with Alexander and see what he spends his money on. The first, you should have 10 just to kind of go over the money that you should have in front of you. If you don't have money, it's fine. You just follow along with us. You can just follow with me and watch me put the money in the jar. But first of all, you're going to have 10 of these. These are pennies. They're worth 1 cent. They're kind of copper colored or kind of an orangey color. And should have 10 of those in front of you. The second coin is a nickel, which is worth 5 cents. And it's kind of a bigger coin and it's silver colored. Our littlest coin is called a dime, even though it's worth the most. It's worth 10 cents. You should have 7 of those. So 7 dimes, 4 nickels, and 10 pennies. And 1 cup or jar to put the money in. I'm going to show you how I have my money set up because I think that's the best way to set it up so it's easy for me to grab and find. So if you can put all your dimes, nickels, and pennies together, that'll help you with this activity. So with your money right there, we're going to read together a story called Alexander Who Used to Be Rich Last Sunday. And the author is Judith Vorst. And I love the Alexander books. And partly it's because I can make a great connection because the author writes about her 3 boys and I have 3 boys. So I love these books because I can make some great connections when I read them. So Alexander Who Used to Be Rich Last Sunday. I'm going to give my book a hug because I give books hugs because I love them so much and we hug things we love. It isn't fair that my brother Anthony has $2 and 3/4 and 1 dime and 7 nickels and 18 pennies. It isn't fair that my brother Nicholas has $1 and 2/4 and 5 dimes and 5 nickels and 13 pennies. It isn't fair because what I've got is bus tokens. Can we buy anything with bus tokens? And most of the time, what I've mostly got is bus tokens. And even when I'm very rich, I know that pretty soon what I'll have is bus tokens. I know because I used to be rich last Sunday. Last Sunday, Grandma Betty and Grandpa Louie came to visit from New Jersey. They brought lox because my father likes to eat lox. They brought plants because my mother likes to grow plants. They brought $1 for me and $1 for Nick and $1 for Anthony because Mom says it's not nice to say this. We like money a lot, especially me. My father told me to put the $1 away to pay for college. He was kidding. Anthony told me to use the dollar to go downtown to a store and buy a new face. Anthony stinks. Nikki said to take the dollar and bury it in the garden, and in a week a dollar tree would grow. Ha ha ha. Mom said if I really want to buy a walkie-talkie, save my money. Saving money is hard. It is kind of hard. Because last Sunday, when I used to be rich, I went to Pearson's drugstore and got bubble gum. And after the gum stopped tasting very good, I got more gum. And after the gum stopped tasting good, I got more gum. And even though I told my friend David I'd sell him all the gum in my mouth for a nickel, he still wouldn't buy it. Goodbye, 15 cents. So we're going to grab one of our dimes, which is worth 10 cents, and a nickel, which is worth 5. 10 and 5 make 15. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we're going to put them in our jar. Last Sunday, when I used to be rich, I bet that I could hold my breath till 300. Anthony won. I bet that I could jump from the top of the stoop and land on my feet. Nikki won. I bet that I could hide this purple marble in my hand, and my mom would never guess which hand I was hiding it in. I didn't know moms would make children pay. Goodbye, another 15 cents. So again, we're going to grab one of our dimes and one of our nickels. So we have the little silver coin and the bigger silver coin, and we're going to put them in our jar. I absolutely was saving the rest of my money. I positively was saving the rest of my money, except that Eddie called me up and said that he would rent me his snake for an hour. I've always wanted to rent his snake for an hour. Goodbye, 12 cents. So we're going to grab a dime, which is 10, and then count 2 pennies, 11, 12. So 10, we're going to count on 10 with the dime, 11, 12 with the 2 pennies. So 1 silver dime and 2 copper-colored pennies. Put in the jar. Anthony said, when I'm 99, I still won't have enough for a walkie-talkie. Nick said, I'm too dumb to even let loose. My father said there are certain words a boy can never say, no matter how ratty and mean his brothers are. My father fined me 5 cents each for saying them. Goodbye, dime. So we're going to have to grab one of our dimes, which is worth 10 cents. And he must have said 2 things he shouldn't have said, because 5 and 5 make 10. Last Sunday, when I used to be rich, by accident, I flushed 3 cents down the toilet. A nickel fell through the crack when I walked on my hands. I tried to get my nickel out with a butter knife and also my mother's scissors. Goodbye, 8 cents. And the butter knife and the scissors. So 8 cents, we're going to grab a nickel, which is 5, 6, 7, 8. So 3 pennies. So 1 silver coin, bigger silver coin, which is our nickel, and 3 of our pennies, which are copper colored. And we're going to put them in the jar. Last Sunday, when I used to be rich, I found this chocolate candy bar just sitting there. I rescued it from being melted or smushed. Except the way that I rescued it from being melted or smushed was that I ate it. How was I supposed to know it was Anthony's? Goodbye, 11 cents. So we're going to grab 10, our dime, 10, 11. So our dime and then 1 copper penny. And we're going to put it in the jar. I absolutely was saving the rest of my money. I positively was saving the rest of my money. But then Nick did a magic trick that made my pennies vanish in thin air. The trick to bring them back, he hasn't learned yet. and buy 4 cents. So we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4 of our copper colored pennies, and we're going to put them in the jar. That should be no more pennies after that. So 4 pennies in your jar. Anthony said that when I'm 199, I still won't have enough for a walkie-talkie. Nick said they should lock me in a cage. My father said there are certain things a boy can never kick, no matter how ratty and mean his brothers are. My father made me pay 5 cents for kicking it. Goodbye, nickel, because remember our nickel is 5 cents. Go ahead and put it in the jar. That should be our last nickel. Last Sunday, when I used to be rich, Kathy around the corner had a garage sale. I positively only went to look. I looked at the half-melted candle. I needed that candle. I looked at a bear with one eye. I needed that bear. I looked at the deck of cards that was perfect except for no 7 of clubs and no 2 of diamonds. I didn't need that 7 or that 2. Goodbye, 20 cents. I wonder if he really needed those things. Goodbye, 20 cents, which is 2 dimes because 10 and 10 make 20. And that should be the end of our dimes. They go inside our jar. I absolutely was saving the rest of my money. I positively was saving the rest of my money. I absolutely, positively was saving the rest of my money. Except I needed to get some money to save. I tried to make a tooth fall out. I could put it under my pillow and get a quarter. No loose teeth. I looked in Pearson's telephone booths for nickels and dimes that people sometimes forget. No one forgot. I brought some non-returnable bottles down to Friendly's Market. Friendly's Market was not so friendly. I told my grandma and grandpa to come back soon. Last Sunday, when I used to be rich, I used to have $1. I do not have $1 anymore. I've got this dopey deck of cards. I've got this one-eyed bear. And I've got this melted candle. Is that any of the things that he really wanted? And some bus tokens. So here's what I want you to do, boys and girls. I want you to respond to our story today. Because we realized, right, that he spent all his money because all our money is in the jar. I want you to respond on what did Alexander plan to do with his money when he first got it from Grandma and Grandpa. So you can tell me, what was Alexander's original plan? What was he going to do with that money? And then I want you to do a second response and tell me why he wasn't able to save his money. Just give me one example of somewhere that he spent his money that he probably shouldn't have spent his money. It wasn't a very good decision. It wasn't very wise. So again, 2 responses. The first one is, what did Alexander plan to do with his money? And next would be, what did he actually do with his money? And give me an example. All right, boys and girls, thanks so much for listening.